Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Northwestern Energy now says it plans to purchase a quarter of Colstrip Power Plant's Unit 4 for $1. Oddly enough, this announcement comes just one day after renewable power advocates blasted Northwestern for moving too slowly toward cleaner energy.
Now, the plant's current owner, Seattle-based Puget Sound Energy, plans to eventually abandon its interest in the Colstrip plants entirely. Northwestern says the transaction will have zero net effect on customer bills. Yet while buying more coal-fired power, the company says it's committed to reducing the carbon intensity of its electricity generation by 90% by 2045.
Northwestern says it will submit the proposal to the PSC early next year for review and possible approval.
Our customers in Montana are more exposed to the market than customers of any other electric company in the western United States. It's a big, big hole. This transaction allows us very cost effectively to fill about 25% of that hole, and also actually preserves the opportunity for future resources to come in when they are cost effective in the future, whenever Colstrip Unit 4 is retired.
Northwestern ratepayers will have to pay operating costs of the new share of the plant.
Well, House Democrats announced 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump today.
And the Judiciary Committee is expected to begin voting in a matter of days. Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
So the Democrats have nothing.
President Trump railed against House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the impeachment inquiry at a rally in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Our poll numbers have gone through the roof because of her stupid impeachment.
House Democrats say the president left them no choice but to move forward with 2 articles of impeachment.
He endangers our democracy and he endangers our national security.
Article 1, Abuse of Power, argues President Trump solicited the interference of a foreign government, Ukraine, in the 2020 U.S. presidential election, accusing the president of urging Ukraine to announce an investigation of political rival Joe Biden.
The argument, why don't you just wait, amounts to this. Why don't you just let him cheat in one more election?
Article 2 charges obstruction of Congress, saying the president directed the unprecedented, categorical, and indiscriminate defiance of House subpoenas. Democrats had debated adding charges, but leadership pursued a narrow approach, in part to keep moderate Democrats on board. Republicans are staunchly backing the president.
He's withstood this all. Why? Because he did nothing wrong.
While House Republicans accuse Democrats of moving too quickly, Senate Republicans have signaled they want the issue resolved quickly in their chamber.
I think the trial needs to end as quickly as possible. I think impeachment is hurting the country, and I have no desire to make it a long trial.
The House Judiciary Committee begins debating the articles Wednesday evening, with a final committee vote expected Thursday afternoon. That sets the stage for a full House vote before the holidays. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Possible trial in the Republican-controlled Senate could happen early next year.
Well, that possibility of an impeachment trial in the Senate is something I talked with Montana Democratic U.S. Senator John Tester about via satellite today.
To treat this very, very seriously, try to remove the politics out of it, and make a determination, and we will, because the Senate will be the jury as to whether to convict or acquit the president on the charges that the House is sending over. So, look, it's unfortunate it's happening. In the meantime, we need to continue to do the business that the country expects of us.
You mentioned getting the politics out of it. Do you think that's possible with the way things seem to be right now? Everyone seems to already have made up their mind depending on what party they're with.
It's a big challenge, Russ, and I will tell you that we need to sit down, and I'm talking about we being the senators that serve in the greatest deliberative body of this world, and sit down and listen to the evidence very, very carefully. This will set a standard moving forward that other presidents will live by. So it's just not a Republican issue. It's just not a Democratic issue. It's an issue that affects this country and the democracy in which we live. And so we need to take it very, very seriously, and we need to depoliticize it if we're going to do the job and do it right.
And you can see today's entire interview with Senator Tester on KTVQ.com.
Now, Congress is also on the verge of passing the National Defense Authorization Act.
The NDAA will provide money for critical defense priorities at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls. It could also mark the end of a long battle for one Montana tribe. Now, included in that act is an amendment that will give federal recognition to Montana's Little Shell tribe of the Chippewa Indians.
The tribe's been fighting for federal recognition for generations, and both Montana's U.S. senators pushed for the amendment to be included.
I fought hard and long to ensure the Little Shell recognition was retained in this important legislation. Now I'm going to keep working until it gets across the finish line and signed into law by President Trump.
And Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire joining us now with a look at some nasty cold temperatures that settled into parts of our viewing area last night.
Yeah, you know, we saw this coming on Friday of last week, and then all of a sudden it came in last night, and man, look at how cold it was. These are our reported low temperatures in northeastern Montana. Take a look at that up at Glasgow, Glendive, and Jordan, all sub-zero temperatures, and it was even colder in parts of North Dakota. In fact, parts of North Dakota, like Rugby, North Dakota, had 46 below zero wind, not wind chill factor. That was the temperature this morning. Now, these are what our records were when you open the record books today, so we really didn't have any new record lows. 37 below zero was their current record low for Glasgow, 21 below over at Glendive and Miles City, so very cold temperatures, so no new records there. But take a look at some of these other places that had some cold temperatures. Near Wolf Point, 31 below. By Burdett, it was minus 28, 23 below at Freud and Scobie, 21 below over at the Medicine Lake, and the Sydney Airport, 18 below zero temperature. Boy, very chilly morning. That's all gone, and things start to improve from here. We'll chat about that coming up.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Well, straight ahead on the Q2 10 o'clock news, Democrats and President Trump come to consensus and reach a revised trade deal with Mexico and Canada.
Plus, if you are looking for a way to spread your holiday cheer, we're going to show you where your help is needed.
And in sports tonight, can Miles City's Haven Medjid inch closer to a world title? Highlights from round 6 of the NFR coming up.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.